Armin Kepra, Collapse Specialist, Episode 1. The man who arrives when things fall apart. The rain had been falling for hours, soft and steady like a quiet apology from the sky. Inside the small coastal town, lights flickered in windows as if unsure whether to stay awake or surrender to the storm. A black sedan rolled to a stop near the harbor. The door opened. A man stepped out, wrapped head to toe in pale, clean bandages. Only his eyes were visible. Calm, steady, unshaken. The townspeople glanced at him the way one might glance at a passing delivery truck, curious but not alarmed. They had heard stories. Everyone had. Armin Kepra, the man who arrived when situations collapsed. He walked with quiet purpose, the bandages whispering softly with each step. A fisherman sweeping rainwater from his porch nodded politely as Armin passed. "Evening," the fisherman said. Armin returned a gentle nod. No one asked why he was wrapped. No one ever did. At the end of the pier, a small operations team waited under a canopy. Their equipment was scattered, their expressions tense. Something had gone wrong, badly. When they saw Armin approaching, their shoulders eased. Not because he was intimidating, not because he was famous, but because he was the one who came when everything else had failed. Their lead analyst stepped forward. "Thank you for coming," she said softly. We're losing control of the situation." Armin's eyes lowered, absorbing the weight of her words. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. He simply stepped past her, toward the edge of the pier, where the storm-lit ocean churned like a restless memory. He stood there for a moment, letting the wind tug gently at his bandages. He had seen collapse before. He had lived through it. He had wrapped himself in it. And now he walked into it again. Not to fix the world, but to guide others through the parts that couldn't be fixed. The analyst watched him, her voice barely above the rain. "Armin, can you help us?" He turned slightly, his eyes calm, steady, and unmistakably yours. He nodded once, and the story truly began. Prose, page 2. The wind shifted, carrying with it the faint scent of salt and something quieter, an unease that clung to the air like a half-spoken confession. Armin Kepra lowered his gaze to the water below, watching the tide pulse against the wooden beams of the pier. Each wave rose and fell with the slow patience of a world that had seen countless collapses before this one. Behind him, the operations team murmured among themselves, their voices thin and uncertain. Equipment cases clicked open. Screens flickered. A map rustled in the wind. Nothing was loud, yet everything felt frayed. Armin turned slightly, just enough for the analyst to see his eyes. She stepped closer, holding a tablet against her chest as if it were a fragile object. Her breath trembled before she spoke. "It started small," she said. "A miscommunication, a delay, a signal we couldn't verify. And then everything began slipping out of alignment." Armin listened without interrupting. His silence was not distant. It was attentive, steady, the kind of silence that allowed others to find their words. "We tried to correct it," she continued. "But the more we adjusted, the more the situation drifted. It's like trying to hold water in your hands." A gust of wind tugged at Armin's bandages, lifting the edges for a moment before settling them back into place. He stepped away from the railing and approached the small folding table where the team had laid out their scattered intel. Papers fluttered. A single pen rolled toward the edge before he caught it with a gentle tap of his finger. The analyst watched him, her voice softening. "You always come when things reach this point." Armin didn't respond. He simply examined the map, tracing the coastline with a gloved hand. His movements were slow, deliberate, each gesture carrying the weight of someone who had walked through collapse before and learned to move carefully within it. A distant buoy bell chimed through the fog, its tone low and mournful. Armin lifted his head. Somewhere beyond the harbor, something was waiting for him. Something already unraveling. He gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. The team straightened, as if that single motion had restored a measure of order to the night. Armin stepped forward, ready to enter the collapse.